Welcome to Project Pack number 19. This is day 4. My name is Rick.
Hi, I'm Maria, and I am so excited about this project. Today I'm going to use the black pens. There's an 01, 05, 08.
Black is 01 and 08.
Oh, yeah.
And the brown is
brown
05.
is 05. And we're going to work with a new tangle called mycelium. And mycelium was named for our grandson, Liam, who is all about the ocean. And I thought, what a cool little word and little play on words.
It's a great play on words. I love
We're
that.
going to put our mycelium up in the right-hand corner, but you can actually put it anywhere you want. I have a big space there. You can see how big the space is. And I'm going to
sort of show the foundational setup here.
So I'm just doing a rough idea of what the that first stroke would be, just so you can see where it's going to go. It's like an upside-down smile, a little smirk, right?
Or a little mustache.
Yeah. Let's do it again.
And this will all make sense. And you may want to watch the entire video because you'll see at the end of the video different versions that each of us have done.
It's a little more complex than usual. Yeah. So I'm going to put down that first little upside-down smile. And it doesn't have to be centered or anything. You can see that it's kind of a smirk.
And Maria's using the 01 at this point.
Right. I'm doing a line up to that point, and we're going to do what do we call that?
A little takeoff,
like a Senna kind of drawing on this line. We're going to go from that point at the bottom and go right up to this little smirk.
So it's got this really little bit of drama in there and a nice sense of line.
The top one is not going to touch the smirk. It's going to come down and then stop, maybe, what is it, like 1/8 of an inch or something like that?
A little bit away.
Yeah, a little bit away depending on the size of your mycelium. And we're going to do the same thing, but it's not going to touch the smile.
So there's this very sort of fluid, curvy meeting of those two, or almost meeting of those two lines.
So I'm going to aura that first line and then go in with that Senna, darkening that wonderful...
sort of expanding it, right?
Yeah.
And we use this in quite a few tangles, like in diva dance, where different lines will expand.
When you want to add some drama, this is kind of a drama tangle.
Mm-hmm.
Probably half and half, black and white, right?
Yeah. So in the spirit of the Zentomology of this project, you can see how these could be in multiple genuses, but this particular one is also probably like a blossoming tangle in that it can float like a celium creature.
Yeah.
And it's got this real sense of fluid and movement.
It has a very oceanic feel to it. So you can see I'm going up and I'm doing this, it looks like 3 or 4 times from the bottom.
You know what this looks like? It's like we're going snorkeling in a Zentangle sea here.
I know.
Things that we're seeing.
It's already taken a shape of its own. So we're going to repeat this, but on the other side. I'm going to go from the bottom.
That end.
Yeah, from that end. And we're going to do it like 4 times.
And there's that sort of consistent gap in this. Not overly, don't worry about it. But there's just that feel of a consistent frequency.
And you can see the power of where that black begins, and it makes the image go in a direction. You know, it drives it. You can see that now it's looking a little different from the other side, just because the black started at a different place, and your options are endless. We're going to do the 4 on each side, not going to the smirk.
And again, it's like they are matching, or like the gap between them. There's always a gap, but they're like going to meet the say hi to the ones on the other side of that
Right.
line.
They're not exact, but they're almost.
Yeah.
Right. I like this because the previous line tells you where to go.
Right.
Which is really always kind of nice, right?
Yeah.
I'd like to be told what to do, like sometimes.
And once you have that first piece down, you've then have the reference line, and it's basically adding types of auras throughout, just that these get a little bit thick towards the end.
You can see me going in and sculpting, which is really, I love that part of this. I mean, most tangles I'll go in, I always call it adding a little love here and there. So we're almost at the same point as we were at the bottom there. It's already starting to swim around, right? You can see that ocean wiggling in the background. So now what we're going to do is we're going to start more like halfway down instead of way at the tip.
But the same principle, but it's just coming off like in a takeoff sort of way.
So that's going to drive you in a little bit of a different direction.
And I think we'll have a step out on the somewhere in the newsletter by now, and you can look this up.
It's a fairly new tangle.
Right. We just released it last month, which would have been in November of 2022.
Oh, see how it tells you where to go, and how that flipper, you can almost see it going in the back, like it's three-dimensional in the back.
Like a, what were those, that manta ray that would be flapping underwater.
Right. So again, I'm going to go up close here and start my auras.
And again, meeting the ones on the other side, sort of.
Yeah.
And this is a really fun one to shade. And you'll notice that we're not doing the shading right away, because we're going to go and do it once the whole composition is done.
It's because the reason why, in my opinion, is that if we put the shade down, then we're going to smear it out with our hands going
That's
all
also
over the
true.
place. Yeah. So you can see it. Can you see that manta ray kind of inspiration coming through?
And I like this as a tangle too, because if you were to like go and say, okay, draw this and just duplicate this, it wouldn't be the same as it is to like, okay, now we have the steps, just do this and then do that and then do the next, and it just magically appears.
And it almost doesn't look like it's going to work until you got the other ones on the other side. Even just that, isn't that a cool
Right.
looking thing?
And as you see like how other people work with this, and as you see how you work with this, and see what other people put on the app and online, you'll be amazed at how flexible this one is.
It can be like alone on a tile, but it also works great when you start multiplying them and integrating them, touching them,
Right.
and touching the tips with others and going behind. And oh my gosh, it's so. We did this at Zen Again, and the things that people were doing already just in that first hour was just amazing.
Yeah, so be sure to check out the, look up the hashtag mycelium on the app and just be prepared to go, wow. Maria always goes back and does a little additional touch.
Look at that. Isn't that fun? Wait till you see it shaded. Oh,
Yeah.
my goodness. The second half here, we're going to do an embedded letter. I'm going to do an M and...
This will be like putting the chop in advance. So
right. I'm using my 05 brown.
So you might do your initial, or you might do your chop.
That's true. Did you do your chop?
I did my chop.
You did your chop. I do my chop different every time, so it kind of. This is sort of my chop, right?
So once Maria's got the base down, it's like what I call reverse sculpting, like adding thickness to it.
Yeah, well, there must be a word for that.
Reverse sculpting.
Look, it's so fun. I love the embedded letters, and also you don't forget you can embed anything. I mean, you can embed one of those Bronx spears if you wanted to, right?
Or any symbol or anything that's meaningful to you.
Yeah, a number or a question mark or anything.
Right? See how it just repeatedly going over it just gives it such a nice form. And you can look at it and then tweak it. But
now I'm going in with the O1 and I'm going to go all around the letter.
So the first thing is an aura.
Aura. Even just doing that with a letter this size, it's hard to do on your chop because we work so small, but with a letter this size, it's a great first step.
Right, and on this canvas that we're working, it's larger, so we're able to explore the tangles in a larger format.
Ordinarily, I would be moving this around and around to get my lines just the way I want them, but with this piece spinning, I'm not sure about how everybody would feel afterwards,
that's
right?
True.
So I haven't been spinning it as much.
But still, it's nice to know that it's nice to be able to see what you're auraing without the pen covering it.
Right. Okay, so with my O1, I'm going to shoot off some of those little
fescue fronds?
Fescue fronds, like a fescue, right? Yeah. And just willy-nilly all over the place. It doesn't matter where you put them, what direction they're going in. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It's just the way this magical tangle works.
Right. So it's sort of like, I don't know, what was that, those little sculptures that they put seeds on and water it and then they would grow?
Chia pets?
It's like a chia pet. But they're going all different directions.
Right. You want them going in different directions and just all over the place, right?
And if you haven't seen this process, it's really, really cool. And it's just sort of encrusts the letter with these beautiful patterns.
It looks like this, what is she going to do here? This makes no sense at all, right? So now we are going to aura, we're going to add rounding wherever the little fescues meet there and there's an awkward corner there. We're going to do some rounding. It's
sort of like it adds some drama there. And
some strength to the design.
It gives it good structural strength.
I talk often about old illustrators, before cameras and photographs and magazines and stuff, the illustrations often would have this rounding on the lines. And I used to wonder, why isn't my drawing looking as cool as the ones in these magazines? And then I finally saw it. I saw it.
That rounding. So I like this. The leaf is going in and out of that.
Yeah. You can do anything. You think you're magic. You can do anything you want. The power in this pen, you just can't imagine all the power you have. See that? I'm making some rounding in there. And if you miss it, don't worry. It's not going to bite you or anything.
And just using that approach of putting the aura in, some rounding, some fescue, and back and forth.
So this is the basic premise or whatever, is going back and forth with the rounding, the auras, and you can add more fescues wherever you think you need some drama. And you just keep going for as long as you want.
But that's the basic recipe. And again, aura is your friend, so we're doing aura-ing, rounding, and then whenever you want, add those little sprouts coming out.
We have a whole instruction on how to make the letters like I just made it. How you go about strengthening your letter. And it's when we brought this out, if you look up embedded letters on our website, on our either newsletter or blog or something, you'll see the videos.
So we just put another aura on, and then go back and add some rounding.
It sort of has a Celtic knotworky kind of look, or something that's behind the Celtic knotwork, or in the illuminated letters.
So it becomes a texturing almost.
Right.
And then aura that. And you can decide to go under or over whatever you're next to. In general Zentangle fashion, we tend to draw behind.
Neat, huh?
Right? I think you do a little bit more. Yeah. Let's add some more fescue sprouts.
I wanted you to be able to see that you could add them wherever you wanted. And
Right.
If you felt you needed in the design.
Because as you do it, it changes the overall shape, and you might say, I want to add something on this side or the other side. And then once those are in, we add some more aura-ing. And this is going to become part of the, it's going to become part of this whole tapestry that we're weaving on here. And you can also choose to aura everything, or you might just check out what Maria does here on this, I think it's coming up, where she auras part of it. Right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's just going to fade
I thought it softened.
into the background,
Yeah,
softens
softened,
it.
Yeah.
I like that.
You see that subtle little kind of flick of the pen.
So it's there, and it just becomes part of this beautiful, beautiful project. Look at that.
Look, that's cool, right?
Very, very nice. So let's take a look at some of the other ones. I think we've got a few that other people did.
Mm-hmm.
So here's Julie's.
You can see Julie's J.
Right? And
Beautiful.
she did her fronds in the, some of them in the brown.
Mm-hmm.
So you've got all those choices. You can go back and forth with the pen colors for that matter.
This is Molly. Look at her. Her chop is always so cool. It has Molly in
Right.
there.
And she got some circles floating in the embedment.
Oh, yeah. That's
Right.
kind of a neat touch. I like that.
And then her mycelium is more pointed at the end. So there's different styles.
This is Martha.
Oh, that's me.
Oh, that's you. I'm sorry.
And I apologize or not, but I jumped ahead and put shading on my mycelium. But it shows how much fun you can have.
Yeah, yeah. This is Martha.
That's Martha.
She has an H there for Huggins. Yeah.
So once again, thank you for spending this time with us. We look forward to seeing what you create, and we look forward to seeing you in the next day.
Okay. See you tomorrow.
Bye now.